Hello guys, Petru here. Today I want to do something a bit different than what I usually do, and that is to go over a game of mine and kinda explain my thought process and what I kinda think about and do playing Sylas. I'm doing this because I had a couple of people asking me to do this kind of stuff, and I thought it'd be kind of actually interesting. I also have coached at this point quite a bit to this point, I think more than like at least 10 times. So I definitely know what people struggle with, especially like below masters. I have coached some people in masters as well, but especially I know what people are main things are and what you should be looking out for. Now with that said, I do believe everyone is a bit different. Like this is something I learned when I started coaching the more and more. And maybe it sounds kind of obvious, but everyone has their own mistakes they do. Some people are really good at some things, and some people are really bad at something else. Like, for example, some people are really good at laning. Like, I'm impressed. Their laning is really good for their elo. But after laning phase is over, they just don't know what to do and always pretty much guess themselves. So they're always indecisive, and they never chase good plays constantly. They always risk plays, and they just, like, keep dying. Then there's, like, other people who are, like, okay to, like, mid-late game, but struggle really bad in laning phase where they just constantly die to ganks. Micro is like one thing that's like something you improve by just playing more of Sylas. It's not like I can just tell you to click better. It's kind of more complex than that. Something like CSing is also another thing. I do hear a lot of people that like, how can I CS better as Sylas? So for the most part with every champion, the solution is always to just last hit better, lol. It kind of, for the most part, I would say like 70% of the time, it is kind of true. With Sylas, it kind of depends. Sometimes like the question is not as simple as that. Because like sometimes people are asking like, I'm last hitting okay, but like I can't really either walk up to CS or I am just out of mana because I'm Wing the minion. First of all, you should never W a minion unless like a cannon and you're gonna base. But I would never W a minion unless your only role in that game, at least laning phase, is just to farm. Like a bad matchup, maybe like I would say like Zoe, my only role is to just farm early game because I know I'm not really going to be active in the early game. So I'm not really looking to trade. At this point, just farm, TP back, continue farming until where I can actually fight. But this is a very specific scenario. For the most part, I would say my biggest advice for that would be Qmax helps a lot. I know some people are either like too scared to do Qmax, some people just don't like the playstyle. I think some games Qmax is just kind of a must. Depends on the matchup, so but if you want to OTP Sylas, 2 points into Q or 3 points into Q is doable, but you're gonna suffer some games where like it's going very slow and your whole gameplay is going to be just catching up waves. It doesn't happen every game, like even especially against like something like a Vex. I see a lot of people struggle against that matchup. I kind of think it's fine. Like it's not a good matchup, but it's very playable if you just Qmax. Because you're just gonna farm early game, and then you just outscale her anyway. Even in 1v1, especially in 1v1, honestly. She's also very low range. You can just Q poke her. I would say like the main advantage of Qmax, I see a lot of people still don't know this, is that you can farm while being safe. Because Sylas is one of the biggest weaknesses is that he's so easy to gank. If you use your E, you're literally just free food for enemy jungler or support, especially in higher lows. You're gonna see supports ganking you more often than maybe masters and below. So mid lane is pretty much a playground of a jungler and a support coming to mid lane, and you're just trying to survive as much as you can. Especially in games where you have a support who wants to scale, like God forbid you have a Sona, and you know, okay, now they have Pyke on enemy team. Okay, now I can't play the game because Pyke is gonna be in mid lane 3 times before 5 minutes. In those games, you kinda just can't do anything but try to be safe. Like, it depends. If you see Pyke constantly in bot lane, then you can fight. Like, there's so much that goes into it. I don't want to babble on too much before I start the actual section of this video. The point is, a lot of people struggle with different things. And I do think like specific coaching helps a lot to nail down what you're struggling with, to like build upon those mistakes. But I'm gonna go over what most people I think struggle with and what I do in my game, like what is my decision making and like how I don't do those mistakes. If there's a popular demand, maybe I can do another style of these videos with maybe if I play like in a lower elo game and I show you how to carry those, because I don't really. But if there's demand for like to show you how to carry low elo games, I can make a video on that. But that said, let me go over a game I had off stream where I played against, I would say, this is a pretty mad matchup, especially after LeBlanc buffs, where this was a very lost game and how I pretty much brought it back with power of believing. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, first things first, one thing that I almost do every game is putting a ward in here at 110-ish is really important. You put a ward in here to track the enemy jungler. So when you put a ward in here, if you see enemy jungler in here before 230, that means this is still average jungler. Some junglers clear faster, but the timing's about the same. If you see it before in here, that means they started red and they're going up. If you see them in here after 230, that means they started blue and they're pathing down to red, because most junglers cross this part of mid lane at 230. This is like the most average I know Sylas is. So if you see them here, that means they're gonna be here. They might look to do the scuttle, or they might base in from here and do the scuttle. So if your jungler is also pathing here, there is a good chance that there will be a fight happening. So that's just the one thing that's like that. This builds up a lot. If you do this every game, like even just putting a ward in here means that you can see enemy invades. Maybe they're gonna cheese from like taking this into like the blue cheese. This covers a lot. And even just like putting it here and not even looking is helping your jungler, because now they know where enemy jungler is. Okay, that's just a small thing. This game was actually kind of opposite of that. So my Viego wants help and I see LeBlanc in here. So if I already see LeBlanc in here, and if I think we can punish this, then I'm just looking in here. We don't want to go in just yet because I don't know where Belveth is, technically. Also Teemo, but you would expect Teemo to be top usually because they love to cheese, like in here or in a bush somewhere. So we wait in here, and at some point we see her again. At some point passes, but most like 110 or 120 is the time frame people will still want to ward this. So in this situation, I'm trying to punish this, and we did. Okay, so this is huge. Stuff like this, especially when you have electrocute, it's actually game winning. Like I remember so many games, especially like mages, like Syndra even, staying in here. Let's say like I'm enemy and I'm in here, and I know enemy might come from here to cheese like a bush in here. So that's like kind of the counterplay of the other side, right? So if the enemy comes here to put a ward in here, and you're Sylas with electrocute, you just want to camp in here, and the moment you see them, you just E2 and then just get a really good trade. And now she's shanked for 50% of her HP. Her laning is a very fucked at this point. And another thing before I forget, which is important, and I probably should have explained it before I get into the game, but this was an electrocute game. I feel like it's quite simple in this case that I don't really need to explain it, but I will. So they have Teemo, they have LeBlanc, and they have Draven, and even Belveth. Those four champions are very squishy. I can see an argument for maybe Belveth, but these four are really squishy. I think a matchup for the most part is king, and I think matchups matter the most, especially in low reloads, because winning matchups is everything, really. But in a matchup like this is definitely an electrocute matchup. In this matchup, since this is like another good matchup, it's kind of similar to Aurora, where like in these matchups, I kind of explained in my meta fight guide, but in these matchups, you kind of don't do anything until you're like level 6, 9. In this situation, it's a bit different since she's already 50%, so I can maybe look to play more aggressive. In this matchup, usually you don't really do anything until you scale. So you take TP and you try to get level 9 or 13, and then you can fight them really easy. If you take Conqueror, you can't really like do anything. So you don't take Electrocute for specifically, I would say, per se, lane domination, but to neutralize the lane because it's very in her favor. That's like another concept that's a bit hard to explain on without like going on to too much. Since I lose this matchup really hard, I want to get at least good trades in whenever she goes on me. If I have Conqueror, I can't really get trades in, and I'm gonna suffer for level 9. Not only suffer, I'm probably gonna be really behind because I have to drop so much CS, because I'm gonna be really behind because I can't trade well. But if I trade well against her, then she's gonna be low. If it's a losing trade, that means she's gonna be low. That means she can either roam somewhere or she can't be too bold with her trades back to me because she doesn't know where my jungler is, or she's way too close to dying. And any misplay might mean that she might die. But if I had Conqueror, then that's not really a reality because she has all the freedom to just fight me while I can't really punish it as much. In this matchup, also sudden impact is really good. Sometimes I start W in this matchup. I did E just because in this case, because they always start W, because what they do is auto W auto, which procs electrocute. That's like a staple Blink level 1 trade. So what you do is start W, and whenever the W, you just W auto tech. You get your sudden impact, and you heal just enough. But just a little trick in this matchup. I already explained why I did electrocute in this case, and I did resolve secondary in this matchup, just because she does poke a lot and trades, and you're not really playing for line domination. Again, if you're really confident and if you're like masters below, I think you actually could like going electrocute and precision secondary even with ignite in this matchup. If you're better, you will just win. Your damage is really high, and it's very okay to play it that way. Since I don't know how good she is, I'm just gonna play it safe and try to scale. So this is kind of a staple, just melee mid. This is not a Sylas specific thing, but if you're a melee mid laner, for the most part, especially APs like Fizz, even Kian, honestly, Echo too, for the most part, what you want to do against mage matchups, or even just any range, this goes for ADCs, honestly, even more for ADCs, is that you don't want to sacrifice too much HP to last hit minions. I see a lot of people just like try to thin the wave already. No, you can't do this. You can't sacrifice too much HP just to get farm. What you want to do is that the least amount of HP you can sacrifice to minion killed ratio. Like there can be a whole paper on this, I think. But what you want, it's like a whole art form, honestly, in my opinion. Some people do it really well, but what you want to do is try to last hit when they're really low. So in this game, I did go for like a level 1 trade where if my E was actually better, I do actually hit this, so XD on me. Like, what am I doing? If this hit, by the way, this is like a huge look. You should always, especially, actually, only if you have electrocute, you shouldn't really do this with Conquer, because your whole game plan is to like get to at least level 3 to trade. But with electrocute, since like my electro is coming up, I'm looking at my cooldown, now it's pop. Now I can look, and I see she's giving an angle to E2, and I can hit an E in here. And I would have, if I wasn't trolling. This is actually kind of close, but I should have angled towards here. But you should always look for E angles. This is like a one big thing I see low people not do. Like, your champion is very strong early. If you have electrocute, just abuse it. If you have electrocute, not procced, if you have one off CD, you should always try to use it. Almost always it's gonna be worth. In this matchup, I would mainly just do it because she's already low. At this point, my whole game plan is because she already fucked up so hard, I can just utilize on this. I can capitalize her being really low and start building an advantage. And even this wasn't bad. In here, if I miss E, I don't just go back. That's a big mistake. I want to get my sudden impact and 2 autos. Nice. I at least got my passive autos, and if she walked over for 1 more, I would get my electrocute off. So even in a bad situation, you want to get the most out of this. And it's still winning because I have second wind and I'm going to heal for the most part. And I got sudden impact and 2 autos on her. So I'm just trying to explain like how much small things goes, even like not even 2 minutes passed in this game. But this is a very volatile matchup, I would say. If she gets ahead, it's over for me. If I get ahead, it's very over for her. But because I'm looking for the E angles, I'm not really prioritizing really getting farm as much. Like, that's another thing. Like, if you suck at farming, you shouldn't prioritize farming always. Especially with electrocute, you're playing for either neutralizing the lane because it's so bad and you're gonna scale, like these Aurora and LeBlanc matchups. Like, you just will stat check them after level 9. As long as they're not super ahead, you should always win. So since I have electrocute, I always want to look for trades in this situation. So he just goes by. I'm just looking. She's gonna get level 2 because she's ranged. I can't contest. So I'm just chilling. I'm gonna get level 2 soon. I know she wants to QW me. She WQ'd me, so I E'd, get sudden impact on her. Nice, and leveled Q because I know W, I won't really do anything. I want to get an immediate good trade, and I hit the Q on him. Really good. Now I just chill, let the minion crash in here. Possibly, if the wave is not too large, you want the wave to always crash in this side. A melee and inter-range matchup, dare I say. You want the wave in here, so it's very easier to farm. And now since the wave is in this side, I can just let the wave crash more into me, and I can farm it more safely. The wave is pushing slowly. Try to, get this every minion. This is huge, and I got everything. There's a fight happening in here. Like, in this situation, if you're literally in this situation, you never leave all this wave. Like, this is another thing I see, actually, people do. If you see all this wave crashing onto you, like, in some scenarios, it's fine. But if you're level 2 this early into the game, you're not letting this wave go. If it's like a dragon fight or a grub fight, sometimes it's fine as a Sylas to drop some waves to help your jungler just because you want to skirmish that bad. And that's how that much matters in solo queue. This wave could be like game losing because this can spiral into mid game. So if I just left this and try to game in here, that could really backfire really hard. So getting this, I got every farm in here. So this is huge. So now that LeBlanc flashed because she had a bad look, what I want to do is that try to push this if I can. But I see my jungler pinging here, and now I see Belveth. Now I looked just in case something's happening because Scuttle is gonna spawn in like 20 seconds. I try to push this as fast as I can. As long as you push it as fast as you can, it doesn't really matter. And then I'm gonna TP. Honestly, one big mistake I did in here is that I should have just instantly pushed in here. I shouldn't even looked in here, and I should have just pushed it as soon as possible so LeBlanc doesn't TP and try to freeze this. It doesn't hurt it as much because I have TP as well, so I'm gonna lose like 1-2 minions at max. I pick my TP, so if anything, Belveth I know is gonna take this, but if she wants to double scuttle, now she has to cross me. Now they can't. Like another thing, so I see my jungler is doing red, enemy red, so they're invading, and we have bot Priya. So now they're winning this. I can look, but I don't want to sacrifice everything. For the most part, I'm just trading with LeBlanc. So in this situation, where like the wave is kind of pushing to me, which is good. This is like a good scenario where you can leave your wave. If I am in this position, so let me show what happened in here. So if I'm on this position and I know something is happening, I don't want to just like drop everything and go in here, but I just want to hover. Hovering is like the keyword I use to like look for a place. But you don't want to commit to something that you don't know is gonna happen. You don't know what's gonna happen in here. Belveth might not just come here, not like just sees and maybe just escapes. You don't know what's really gonna happen. It's solo queue. So what you do is just hover, and I'm just hovering, and I'm just making sure LeBlanc doesn't go anywhere. Because if we are stalemate in here, then she loses like everything in here. Because the next phase is coming, and she's gonna push this, and it's gonna push this, and it's gonna build up like around here, and she's gonna miss a whole wave. The trading in here is a very, very huge. Actually, a really good trade, and I actually get a kill. Because she overextends against me, and she's LeBlanc. Yep, she doesn't know where to go as well, because she doesn't really have a place in here. And I know which one is true. I land my E, and she dies. Now, this is a very, very bad for LeBlanc. Now, I push the next wave. Now I'm really ahead. This is huge. I am a kill ahead. The same CS, but I am very XP lead. The same CS is fine in this matchup because you're expected to drop some CS anyway in this matchup. Like I said, in those matchups where it's like LeBlanc, Aurora, who are very lane oppressive, lane bullies, you are expected to be down on CS. Now we're back. So in here, the wave is perfect. Now it's pushing to me, and I can just chill. I don't know where Belveth is at this moment, so I don't want to trade too hard, unless it's like my side of the lane. So whenever she W's, I want to W. That's the basic trading in this matchup. Yep, same thing's happening. Whenever she W's, I go in. So I knew. So one trick in LeBlanc matchup. This is very specific to LeBlanc matchup. I guess a lot of things I say in this video will be. So whenever you see LeBlanc use W, always try to ult her. Her W ult is very good. It's like a better Cassian ult. It's actually just a lot better Cassian ult. It's honestly, I would go as far to say it's like one of the best ults they have. Like Leon is better for sure, but it's the second best ult they have on any team. If I saw she QWs, that means she doesn't have Q, and the last spell she used is W. So I can just take the W. And now I kill her here. Like, they just never expect this. Also show a slowed version. Yep, I hit Q where she started, by the way. Where she W'd. So when she goes back, she gets hit by the second part of Q. And now she's not respecting because Belveth is coming and Leon is looking in here. But because I have her ult, I'm confident I can just kill her because she doesn't have flash. So I just ult and just passive. She dies. So in here, I hold my flash. I don't want to flash yet until I see Bell. Yep, okay, now I see it, then I just flash. Now I ping my jungler for help. My jungler is here. And honestly, we should have kept going. Also, maybe I should have pinged more. Maybe he didn't realize. But I hit this, and she almost dies. Yeah, she just escapes. This is kind of unfortunate. She just kills the other way. It's whatever. I live anyway. We get flash. This is huge. Me living in here is very big. So this wave is pushing my wave stay is kind of horrible. Because I got ganked. And it's kind of awkward. But I don't have TP. But at this point, if I try to stay in here, my lane is over because LeBlanc is going to be lane in time. So I need to just cut my losses and just go back to base. Never try to fix something that's this bad when you have no mana or HP. And now we come back. Like yep, she's trying to freeze this. And like this is the right play by her. If she tried to push this, then now I wouldn't lose anything. But because she did this, I lose at least 2 CS. Now it's freezed. What I want to do in here, I want to like try to push this as soon as possible. I can do this because I'm already fed. So I have the say on what to do in this matchup. Like I said, it's very fragile in this matchup. If I'm ahead, she can't really play the game. Another thing, you might have realized I'm doing W max. Sometimes I do Q max, sometimes I do W max. In this matchup, it's always W max. Like I said, in my Modify, I list about in every matchup and what max order you should do. But I would say, like, any mage matchup that's about, like, not LeBlanc or maybe even Aurora, actually happens to be, like, those mages who just poke you really hard and you don't really win early game. Other than Zoe, I would say Zoe is a Q max game, but even W max would be fine. But those would be W max. Just because you're gonna stat check them later on. If I do Q max, I would have better push. But it's really, really hard to hit Qs on her. If it was reliable, honestly, it'd be fine as well, because you can just one-shot her. If that Q trick, like I just showed you, always worked, then I think it'd be fine. But it's just not reliable enough, and there's just no point if it's not reliable. W is a point-and-click spell. Yeah, that's just the thought process. So in here, actually, let me show. Since I pushed this wave really fast, I have a roam timer. This is a cannon wave. That means she can push this really fast. Now, I see Draven and Leona are very low. And I just try to hover around and see if something happens. I'll look some, and I don't see anything happening because they're basing. But I see Belveth. So at this point, I'm like, okay, at least I can look for Belveth. I'll look from here for the chance of them recalling in here. And this was honestly kind of lucky that I found them here and they didn't react in time. Because they just didn't expect. I am pretty sure from their point of view, they didn't see coming in here. Oh, wait. I'm stupid. Yeah, so in here, they didn't see me coming until I E. And then I take her ult, and then I E. And then I just ult Draven. So they're just like, what just happened? Alright, so this was definitely lucky, honestly. I won't even lie. But this roam is 100% good, even if I don't get these, because I have a look on Belveth. Now, she can't do anything. Alright, now she goes and dies tired. Okay, really good. Because I was here, she died. So now I'm already here. What I'm gonna do is push this wave. So that's another big thing. A lot of low elo people don't know tempo in a way. So what's good in here, I don't even have to ping this. Everyone in high elo knows that if I'm here, now it's good tempo for me to push this and Senna goes mid lane. Like, see, she's just going mid lane without anyone just pinging anything. This is good tempo because if I just recalled in here and back to mid lane, so this wave would have crashed and I'll be here in time, but the wave in bot lane would be slow pushing to here and we would have lost about like 2 waves worth of gold. So this play maximizes both CS and farm. They're the same thing. CS and XP is what I mean. Everyone in your team gets the max amount of resources possible. I know a lot of people in like, maybe you're like, in this case, if you're low elo, you're maybe ADC doesn't respect this. You're like, bro, I want to go back to my lane. What are you doing? You're trolling me. Like, you should ping them off and tell them to go mid lane. Like, just help ping mid lane and you just try to push this lane. That's very, very important because I get so much XP from this. Not only I got 2 kills plus an assist. Well, technical assist. I also got 2 waves. And my Senna doesn't lose that much. She just gains the mid wave. This is huge. This is really big. Now what happens? They push this wave and I go back mid lane. Tempo is perfect. Now I'm here and I can try to fight for grubs or dragon or whatever we need. So I'm back in here. I lose literally just 1 CS. This is huge. I push this really fast because there's no contest. Now, at this point, whatever you do, you just want to be out of vision. There was a ward in here, but now I know my Viego is looking top. And after that, we might look grubs. So I just want to get a ward in grubs or like just look, get vision in here. So we killed Teemo, so it's just grubs is free. At this point, it'd be stupid for Bel'Veth to contest this. She puts a ward in here. I'm kind of confident that this is just ours. And Bel'Veth knows this because Teemo is dead. It will be 2v3. So like this is like at this point it's a mind game. I'm not really going to contest this because I know it's just free. But what I want to do is make sure LeBlanc doesn't move. So I want to try to push this. But while trying to play safe. Like, I don't want to just E in constantly because I don't know where they are. I don't know where Bel'Veth is. Very specific jungle champions also love to just cheese gank. Shaco, Rek'Sai, Bel'Veth. So in here, I'm going to try to play it slow. So now I see LeBlanc kind of hovering. But I know my Ornn is not there. So if I vent here, this is just not a good fight. Now we would be 2v3. So now at this point, I don't go. And I don't really want to face check too much. Unless I know for a fact it's only LeBlanc. Because LeBlanc is really weak. She can't really fight me. As you see, whenever she tries to fight me, it's just bad for her. Yep. Another thing in this matchup is that whenever her E going to end its duration and it's going to root you, you want to E2 to buffer it. Like in here, where I just got rooted, but I E2'd her and she's airborne. So in here, I saw she used W. I took it away. Like I said, always take it if you can. I couldn't before, I'm pretty sure. Oh, in here I did, but I didn't know what she used actually. She didn't use W. Oh yeah, no. Nah, in here I wouldn't take it. Because I don't know if she used W. I wouldn't take it. If I took Q, it literally does nothing. E, maybe, but I definitely want to take W. Now I see her take W. I get the W. This is huge. Now they can't even gank me. I can just W away. I'm not scared. They're gonna push this. That's okay for me. Alright. I push this. Now I'm gonna go back because I know LeBlanc has to go back. Because this is Canon minion and there's no way she stays to try to push this. Even if she did, she'll be in time and she'll be very behind in tempo. I know Dragon is up still, so there's a chance we fight. I TP back so I don't lose anything. I try to get push and now I have tempo. And now we're doing Dragon because I have tempo. Oh, this is actually funny. LeBlanc actually walked literally just bot lane to make it play. This is actually not too bad because it's just a desperation play. Where if you're like just losing your lane so hard, just leave lane and do something stupid. And sometimes it works out. And it kind of did. Like this stupid kind of just works out. And I'm like, okay, now there's 4 people in here and we can't really do anything. My Viego wants to play this out, so I just clear the wave. But I have full mana and everything. I know my Sen is going mid, and I just clear this. Okay, I don't want to trade too hard because I know they just got Dragon. Bel'Veth might be here. So I go back, and now I go back mid because now they're going to just stay here. And I know LeBlanc is here, so I want to match LeBlanc. At this point, I'm just going to stat check her. We got to a point level 9, like I said, where I can just stat check her. And she dies. It's that easy. Now I clear the wave, and I know no one is here, so I just try to push this. But I see there might be a fight happening in here. Possibly, I don't want them to. I'm trying to take this tower. Okay, now I take it. I don't know who might be here. I have no mana to push a wave. Now I'm going back. At this point, I'm hovering mid lane just in case something might happen because it looks like something might happen. They're fighting. Just a random Aaron fight because it happens in every solo queue game for some reason. And in here, I saw my Ornn TP. Let me show this slowly. So in here, LeBlanc doesn't really lane anymore. This is kind of just like peak solo queue. She just doesn't lane anymore. She just stopped laning and she's just looking mid lane. And like in this game, it's just like some games you will have this and it's like kind of frustrating because like how is this working? Like some of the plays this LeBlanc is doing is like working. Like how is this like ever like a play, right? But it's just you say like it's okay, I'm fed, I can carry this. My teams are stupid, but it's gonna be okay. I get Leona ult and I just ult her because I know that's the only person I can kill in here and the only person that's in range. We just kill him. Okay, chill. The wave, Senna is gonna push the wave, so I'm okay with that. I go back to bot because the wave is pushed. Since I have TP, that's another thing. Whenever you have TP and after 10 minutes, you always want to look at anywhere in the map where there might be a good play, where you can sneak up on. So I see Teemo is kind of going up on Orin, but I don't know, maybe I didn't communicate enough that Orin just didn't eat the wall to buy time. But I TP, I see Teemo just escapes. That's sure, whatever. We have grubs we can maybe find. But now it's just awkward. We miss charm. And now we're just all here and it's very awkward and Orin doesn't have ult. So this is just a bad fight. Can't really do anything unless someone messes up. RPE's in again. Let me actually slow mo this fight. So this is classic solo queue. So in a situation like this, just observe a situation. You're already here. Instead of going back, I just want to see what's happening. Since I already engaged and tanked some skill shots, now I can try to see, go in. Okay, I see it's going really bad. Everyone, an enemy team is literally here. There's 5 people and we have Orin up top and Senna here. So I'm yep, this might not work out. I'm going back. It's okay. At least we tried, guys. Now I go back at least to clear this wave. Now I know this is done, but it's fine. In this, right now, their 2k go ult. It's still winnable, it's fine. But most of the gold is on me. My bot lane is losing quite a lot. My jungle is losing. My top is even. 2 losing by CS. But gold-wise, they're about all losing. Yeah, I'm the only person who's up. I see LeBlanc is still not split pushing how she should. And she's just playing in mid lane for no reason. In here, I try to make a play off vision. Maybe they do something because I don't really have a job. Right now, the bot wave is pushed. I can't push this further. If it wasn't pushed, then I would take this. But since it's pushed, now I want to look for a place if it happens. Again, it's no guarantee. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. That's why we hover. But I'm just looking. If nothing happens, it doesn't happen. But now, they're fighting. So I think LeBlanc goes in. Let me see. But we need to be reactive. I see LeBlanc in here. Yep, she goes in, tries to kill my Senna. Doesn't really do it. We're here. Clone face checks. Get Leona ult. And okay, now I know she doesn't have everything. And she just dies. Alright. That's very good for me again. And even after that shutdown, they're 2k go up ahead. But because I got the LeBlanc kill, now we can play for Dragon. This is huge. They can contest this. Now I go base unless. So in here, I look if anything's gonna happen while trying to base. They're pinging in here. Someone is TPing in here. I just want to see. My Senna just walks very forward. I'm oh, okay, something is happening. She hits the thing, then I just kill her. At least 1-for-1 trade. This is fine. So I just want to hit this unless I see someone. Yep. We see Belbeth. This could have been really bad because Teemo is coming and Leona is coming. So I ping back off. We back off. So at this point, I'm 8-0. If I die, it's really bad. So I need to not die. Okay, now in here, I go top lane because I want to match LeBlanc. You see, Teemo is in here. So I want to make sure Orin matches Teemo and I match LeBlanc. So in situations, this is also another thing I see a lot. If there is Dragon coming up, in next 2 minutes even, you want to think ahead, and you have TP, then I want to be in the next side of the lane, of the map, sorry. So I want to be in here and I can TP to bot. And if my top lane didn't have TP, then he should be bot lane because he'd be closer to the dragon fight. This is to say, we're gonna fight this dragon. And for the most part, you're almost always going to fight objectives. Unless you know it's just always losing, then you want to split push the other side of the map. In the situations where there is gonna be an objective up, whether that be Baron, Herald, or Dragon up, you want to be... The one who has the TP wants to be in the other side of the map, so they can TP. If I didn't have TP, and there's gonna be Dragon up, then I want to go bot, even if that means matching Teemo. But usually, everyone just matches each other. with TP and just like summoners. In this case, where if we both have TP, then it kind of doesn't really matter. At that point, there's like small things that might matter. Like you have a Tryndamere who just wants to be always on the other side of the map because that's where people are going to be. Like if there's a Baron spawning, he wants to be bot lane because chances are there's going to be 4 people in here. But I'm not coaching or like giving advices to split pushing people. We play Sylas. So this advice won't really do much for you. Since we both have TP and there's not really an objective, it doesn't really matter. We just want to match. So I see there's a look in here on Velvet. Though my Viego doesn't wait, he has ult. I'm like, okay, this is funny. I hit at E, I kill her anyway, which is huge. I know Draven and LeBlanc are here, and I saw Teemo is bot, so I know this guy is alone. I just try to fight her. Okay, she's gone. Just chill. She's gone. Now at this point, I see LeBlanc is here, and she's kind of stuck. Senna is here, Arthur is here, and Ornn is coming. I'm like, we can make a play on her. And she tries to flash W my Senna, which is all for sure an interesting play. But she does one-shot her if she hits E. It doesn't hit E, so he doesn't die. This is just a very risky and bad play overall, though. It just doesn't serve a purpose. And now, since she died, enemy team is in a very bad position because they're in the mindset of shit. Oh shit, there's a fight happening. We might need to help. I have an Archery support for some reason. It's fine. Archery lands a charm on Teemo. Then I'm like, oh shit, okay, it's free. I take Teemo ult because that's the only ult I can take. I don't think I could take Leona ult, or she wasn't even like in my range when I took an ult. I just place Shrooms. That's why not. It's like an okay ult. It's kind of fun to use, honestly. This is good. I don't overextend because I don't know where Belveth is. And she was literally here from what I know. Yep, we killed this. Yep, we killed this. Yep, if I try to extend for Draven, nah, I'll for sure die. Even if I'm not tanking this. Now the play in here is for the most part done unless they try to force this, like this. Now he takes Belveth thing, so it's fine. I took it and the FF. Like a game like this, if I wasn't 12 kills, this was for sure lost. I was surprised again they even FF this because we're only 1k go up, so it's kind of funny. But this is just like a game I had off stream where if I didn't utilize my lane advantage and do the plays I did this game, this wouldn't have been won. Even if I was even this game, this game was definitely over. But I didn't die. That's really important. You don't want to give your shutdown. If you have a 700 gold shutdown and if you die, like at some point it is actually your fault that you lost the game. Like again, enemy team will try to focus on you because you have the shutdown, but now you have a new objective, that is to not die. You want to make sure your team goes in first and then you're the second in line to collect every kill or clear the team fight per se. Another thing is that I built Mercs this game. It should be kind of obvious. They have Teemo, they have LeBlanc, they have Leona. That's 3 AP, and 3 of them have CC. That gets cleansed by getting Tenacity. So it's kind of a no-brainer. I get the question of like, when do you do Sorks? When do you do Mercs? For Electrocute, for the most part, I will do Sorks unless I'm ahead. Then I don't need damage. Like, why would I go damage? At this point, like I said, my new objective is to survive. Now I don't want to Mercs because I want to survive, right? So Mercs makes a lot of sense. If they have 3 out attackers, then I would do steel caps. And if I was behind this game, I honestly wouldn't even do Mercs. I would just go Sorks and just do my damage and die anyway. Because at least now I have another purpose, which is to deal damage and then just die. But for the most part, it's always going to be Sorks for Electrocute, for Conqueror. Honestly, all 3 are really good. But I would rush Lucids about like 60% of the time anyway. Unless, again, you're ahead and these boots are really good in these situations. Okay, so that is the game I want to review. It is a bit of a short game, but I think it gets some things across where like you don't want to give up and make stupid plays. You want to play for yourself and see where the game goes. You don't want to die if you're ahead. If you have a lane lead, especially in a very volatile lane, you just want to spread your lane and don't make stupid plays. Like there is so many situations in this game I could have caught and died and the game might have been over. But yeah, if you guys like this kind of content, I might do more. But like I said, a lot of people have like very specific needs, and I can't cover everything in one video. It's more like I need to review multiple games and some other like situations arise. Like this game is a perfect situation of like you're ahead and this is what you should do, and like how to not die. This is really important, don't get me wrong. Like, people dying is like #1 cause. You don't want to go in first. I didn't go in first. I saw how the situation is and I always hovered, and I took advantages of enemy misplays, and which will happen even in challenger lobbies, even against rank ones in any region. It will just happen. But yes, that is my conclusion. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Petri out. Bye bye.